Differences between Freud and Jung. Psychoanalyst versus not psychoanalyst. Although you may hear the term Jungian psychoanalysis to refer to Jung's theories, it's a nominative error. Jung is not considered a psychoanalyst. Actually, he himself decided to completely separate from that school and create his own. The term complex. Freud recognized Jung as the author of the term. Freud did use complex in his theories, like Oedipus complex or castration complex. But for Jung, the term complex meant emotionally charged images or concepts that behave like their own split personality. Each complex had an archetype at its center, and it was related to the concept of trauma. Parapsychology and psychic phenomena. Jung saw parapsychology and psychic phenomena as very important. But Freud was against studying such ideas and linking them to psychoanalysis. He believed doing so would distort existing theories. The archaic remnants concept. For Freud, archaic remnants had to do with certain unconscious mental forms. He associated them with his concept called the mnemic trace. However, for Jung, archaic remnants were more than that. In fact, he used it to create a map of the unconscious that differed from the one psychoanalysis proposed. Jung was talking about the collective unconscious. He would psychoanalyze his patients' dreams, interpret myths from different cultures, and incorporate it into his research on alchemical symbols. For Jung, the collective unconscious is a part of human nature. It is made up of archetypal structures derived from humanity's most transcendental emotional moments. He says this is where our age-old fear of the dark and our ideas of God and good and evil come from. Historical factors and the importance of the present. For Freud, both neurosis and psychosis develop because of each individual's historical factors, not their current factors or circumstances. That is, historical factors determine current and future actions. However, Jung said it worked the other way around. For him, historical factors are relative. Even when Freud didn't disagree specifically about this issue, he did disagree generally with Jung's focus on the present being a result of the past with respect to neurosis. Vital force versus libido. Jung defined the concept of libido as a general life energy or vital force that would change depending on what's most important at the time for our body's biological evolution: food, death, sex. But Freud's concept of libido was different. He said it was a predominantly sexual energy concentrated in different parts of the body throughout an individual's psychosexual development. Psycho-topologies. For Freud, the psychic structure has three levels: the preconscious, the conscious, and the unconscious. Jung, on the other hand, agreed on the conscious level, but he talked about two unconsciouses, the personal and the collective. Transference. Another difference between Freud and Jung is how they understand the phenomenon of transference. Freud believed that it requires an asymmetric relationship. The therapist is like a blank slate where the patient can place transfer fantasies, role models, etc. to be used for analysis. It is one way. While Jung still thought transference was a central problem for analysis, he did not share Freud's traditional ideas. He defines the therapeutic relationship in terms of his alchemic knowledge. He uses the metaphor of two different chemical bodies that change each other upon contact. In other words, the relationship between the patient and the psychotherapist is collaborative and two-way. The couch. Freud used the couch as an indispensable tool for analysis, the point being to keep the analyst out of view. But Jung did his sessions face-to-face, sitting in front of the patient, no couch. Session frequency. Another difference between the two was their session frequency. Carl Gustav Jung saw his patients at least 2 times per week in the beginning, around 1 hour per session. He would later move them to 1 session weekly for about 3 years. Freud, though, saw his patients 6 times a week, around 45 to 50 minutes for each session.